Hello, welcome to a video where I'm going to showcase some battles from my friend slash teammate, AMindJoke or Alessio. You may know him. He's been to almost every single European regional tournament. He's also streaming on Twitch. I'll put his link in the description. If you can give him a follow, that'd be great. Let's take a look at this matchup here. This is another factions video, and we have the Arcana meta here. We see on a AMindJoke's team, this meta is quite shallow, and it kind of speaks for itself, right? What we see on a AMindJoke's team here is a classic Shift 3 and Ghost types. Like, those are kind of mandatory in this meta, simply because, like, Ghosts are hardly checked. Shift 3 is the only Dark type, really. The other one is Malamar, but Malamar does so against Ghost type, because, like, it loses to Cofagrigus in the 1s and 2 shields if Cofagrigus goes straight Dark Pulse. That's in the 2 shields. I think in 1 shields need to land Shadow Ball. That's basically what it is. I think more of the core breaker Pokemon are like Deoxys, Tyrant. Pelipper is one of the most flexible Pokemon. I'm actually surprised we don't see any here. And we have Aggron. Aggron is one of my favorites, but it's also really RPS, and that's actually making people use Deoxys because one of the very few counters. Let's take a look at these battles here. One of the things that a AMindJoke feared here was the Mew, because Mew can run anything here. It can. When I scrimmed with Alessio with a AMindJoke here, I ran Ice Beam on it, and it hit super effective on Jump Love, Tyrant, Shift 3, and then you have Shadow Claw for Cofagrigus, which still is a losing matchup, by the way. You do beat Drifblim in most scenarios, and you beat Deoxys. So let's see how this goes. A AMindJoke versus Pascu 5. Or Pascus, I don't know if how I was supposed to pronounce his name. Either way, we have a good lead for a AMindJoke here, and the opponent swaps into the Jump Love, which makes a lot of sense, because the only hard answer a AMindJoke has here is Drifblim, and it's unlikely that a AMindJoke leads Cofagrigus with Drifblim in the back when there's a shifter on the opposing line. So I really like this team composition from the opponent already. However, a AMindJoke is prepared for it. He throws a Shadow Ball first to make sure that his Tyrant now can secure this matchup here. Jump Love is really bulky, and since the Fairy Winds, they don't do as much usually, but they do add up on this Dragon type here. Luckily, it barely doesn't get to an unmove, so a AMindJoke has a lot of energy here, but Dragon Claw just doesn't do that much damage. It's a stab move. Tyrant has pretty high attack, but yeah. So Ancient Power does a little bit more damage here. That would have been a slightly better play. I don't think it matters as much, though. Hard swaps into Cofagrigus again, which is a bold play, because if there was a Shift 3 in the back, that would have been really difficult. But also, if a AMindJoke led Shift 3 here, the opponents would have had a lot of trouble with a Mew lead and the Cofagrigus in the back. So whereas the team composition started off really good from the opponent, it actually looks very risky at this point. Mind you, going straight Dark Pulse here. I'm not sure if you get to another one because Shadow Claws add up. They're super effective on both sides. Yeah, he's just one short, but this Cofagrigus is so low now. Now, what you need to be careful of as a AMindJoke is if this Cofagrigus gets 2 moves, then the Mew also might get 2 moves. A AMindJoke tried to catch there, but the timer barely was not up. Shadow Ball comes through, does a good chunk. Tries to catch unsuccessfully, but gets Simul KO, so I guess it works too. And now you're not in Shadow Ball range, so this looks like a victory for a AMindJoke in game number 1. I really like that Mew lead. Like either Mew or Kofa lead with the Jump Love Safe Switch look like a really good strat, simply because the Jump Love is so unchecked on a AMindJoke's side. His best really is that Drifblim. He brought the Drifblim. We actually brought the Drifblim, him and Maxi, to counter the Superior that Amaretto really liked so far. Amaretto is currently the leading faction in this cycle at this time. But they didn't bring it this time. Very smart. Let's take a look at game number 2 here. We have Cofagrigus into Malamar. This is an interesting matchup because you see a dark type on the right side. But this is not a great matchup for Malamar, not for Cofagrigus either. And especially since the AMindJoke decides to go straight Shadow Ball here. I believe you get outpaced to the third before you can KO this Malamar in the 2 shields, actually. Malamar decides to shield up immediately as well, because since it's also a Ghost type, it's actually super effective. And very smart play from a AMindJoke, predicting his opponent would throw on the CMP and then catches on Tyrant. However, Tyrant cannot take a superpower from this range. Superpower does like 85%, I believe, so you definitely want to shield it up from here. Malamar probably has the best coverage in this meta, but also has the worst fast move pressure. So that kind of balances it out here. And Cofagrigus barely cannot farm this down here. One of the downsides of Cofagrigus, on the other hand, it has excellent bulk, it has a really good moveset, but the moveset is expensive. And that's one of its very slight flaws. Let's see what AMindJoke is going to do here. He already has a Dark Pulse or Shadow Ball stored, throws right before the next one. And now he needs a decent matchup in the back because the opponent still has a shield up. But in comes Malamar again. He's able to outpace with this Dark Pulse, or the opponent just didn't throw yet. No, I believe they threw Foul Play and then Superpower, so they don't have a lot of energy. In the back is the Deoxys, so yeah, not the greatest alignment for AMindJoke here. This is actually not a bad matchup for Deoxys because it has super effective Rock Slides. The counters don't really add up, but neither do the Fairy Winds, so that kind of makes this matchup kind of neutral. I think it's slightly favorable for Deoxys because 2 Rock Slides already will take you so low. Yeah, another one comes in here. That puts you deep into the red there. So it's not ideal. It's not ideal for AMindJoke because he cannot farm this down. With shoots up, I think this is somewhat better for jump love, but look at this. You barely get farmed down. The Deoxys gets to a move here, and if you weren't in foul play range yet, you definitely are now. So that's unfortunately game over. AMindJoke really needs to catch on this jump love there, but even then, if you manage to catch the move, if the Malamar has a little bit of leftover energy, it will still outpace because it's only 5 cycle cuts to get to that foul play, which is really fast. So well played from Pascu there. Just really tough alignment for AMindJoke as well. Speaking of tough alignment, this is tough for Pascu because Jump Love is pretty good against Malamar. And since Pascu kept bringing the Cofagrigus, AMindJoke was sick of it and he brought the Shift 3. And with fortunate alignment, he actually gets a Shift 3 on the Cofagrigus. And this is exactly where Shift 3 shines. In its neutral matchups, it doesn't do that great in this meta, like Tyrants. What are other neutral matchups to be like Aggron? Mostly the rock types are a little bit neutral. But if you get aligned to a ghost, you can not only take it out easily, you also come out with so much energy. And going to bait with a lead plate here, which is interesting. It gets no shielded. And man, he would have reached the foul player actually. You actually shouldn't because this next counter would KO and it should take a turn to launch the move, but in that case the counter should KO. So he honestly should not have even reached the move. But if he did throw foul play, that would have KO'd the Deoxys here. Now Deoxys has quite some energy, which is somewhat annoying. Because if it's something like Malamar in the back, you definitely want to keep shields up because Tyrant with shields up is still fine against Malamar, but also it's scary because if it does bait twice and land a superpower as the third charge move, it might KO. I don't think AMindJoke is going to shield anything here. This is basically the one Pokemon that counters the Tyrant. And since AMindJoke is a shield up, I think he's very comfortable with the Tyrant at this point. Worst case scenario is something like Jump Love in the back, but in this case, Tyrant can just get to 2 Dragon Claws here. With the Dragon Tails adding up so much, you will win this battle. Tyrant is not a Pokemon that's used, that I've seen in any other meta. It's a Rock Dragon type, pretty offensive weighted as well, wins a lot of CMPs in this meta, and you could have it excel, this Pokemon. You don't need it to be excel, but you know, it can be. I personally have like a level 46, I believe. So yeah, those were the battles. It's 2-1, AMindJoke versus Pascu, and yeah, those were really good battles. I personally really disliked Arcana at the start, but the more I play it, probably because I dropped aggro for a little bit and made less RPS. Thank you, AMindJoke, for featuring these battles. Thank you for watching, and have